television, there's a lot of kind of gatekeepers and a lot of challenges and difficulties getting content onto television, and then it can get somewhat lost there with everything else that's available. And now with the internet, in terms of distribution, we launched a site in January as part of our 70th anniversary celebration. That's a streaming site, and we've got 1,000 titles streaming for free to the world at the moment. We haven't figured out geo-blocking. I don't know if we will or not. But anyways, it should be a kind of a gift to Canada, but it's available to the world. So there are more opportunities, I think, for people who have talent and have something to say. And if they're, Canadians are smart and funny too, right, and talented. And so I think that work is going to get out there. And I also think the opportunities are really terrific. We're exploring what it means to create original digital content for the internet that may or may not be aligned with a linear film project, that may or may not even use motion picture, but still has the same social impulse of our films, still has the same kind of, hopefully, engagement, but might use photographs and text and sounds. And, so what does that mean and what does that look like?
The idea that now we have access to means of expressing ourselves without middlemen, in the sense that we're not reliant on publishers, media companies, and so on in the same way that we might have been in the past. The availability of technologies that allow us to broadcast ourselves, as YouTube likes to put it, is a very encouraging thing. The persistence of thinking that existing models of funding should be working out, when in fact they're not going to in this environment. And the reality is that throughout human history, there has always been some form of support for the arts that we recognize as a society. In the old days it was patronage, maybe it was royal patronage. At one point it was thought that the market would work out. But right now, what is that model going to be? What is going to bring financing to the arts is a question that we as a society have not answered.
It's important to belong to a community and to have some sense of the history of that community, the texture of that community, the complexity of that community, the voices of that community, and those voices and that history are easily drowned out, especially when you live next door to a cultural behemoth with a very loud voice and a lot of power to project it. So that's the reason that I became actually very interested in, and that's the reason I became a Canadian cultural nationalist.
Of no borders. And for me, if there's a border, it's between what I would call straight culture and alternative culture. And that's what I grew up with. I am, though, I do have, though, a thing about making films in Canada about Canadians. Because a lot of my films are about popular culture, the culture that I grew up with.
I'm not worried about the distinction between professional and amateur, between high and popular art. I think that that's one of the most fabulous things about the internet is that it has integrated those forms in ways that traditional media haven't. But I am worried about the Carl Bassais of the world not being able to make movies because they can't figure out how to get paid for it, while their kid can put a 3-minute video of dogs chasing lawnmowers on the internet, maybe have millions of people watch it. I think that's kind of too bad in the long run, because in the long run, the dog chasing lawnmower video is not going to have very much significance.